So autumn's arrived here in the UK, so it's time to make my quick and easy Instant Pot lentil soup recipe. And I'm going to be using the Instant Pot Duo Crisp, but any Instant Pot multi-cooker will work fine for this. You just need that pressure cook setting. And this is a recipe that you can double up and batch cook. So you've got some in the fridge for now and some in the freezer for later when it's just right for a quick reheat when the cold days suddenly hit. So let's get cooking. So here's what you're going to need in the soup. We're going to start with some olive oil, a medium onion, which I'm going to roughly chop, a teaspoon of black mustard seeds, a teaspoon of fennel seeds, and then I've got a heaped teaspoon of standard curry powder, so any curry powder that you like, whatever you've got in the pantry. And then we'll use 1 clove of garlic, which I will crush, a can of tomatoes, they can be chopped tomatoes or whole tomatoes, 160 grams of red lentils, and that is just under a cup. And then I'll be using veggie stock for this. I'm using my veggie stock made up from my own bouillon powder, and if you haven't seen that video, it's a really fun one. It's showing you how I make vegetable bouillon powder in the Instant Pot versus a traditional dehydrator. And then at the end of the soup, if you've got one and you can add a bit of lemon juice, it really lifts it. But you could also use pantry lemon juice that you've got in. And then I'm going to be using some herbs. You can use lots of different herbs in this soup. I'm going to use some dried parsley from the garden. And that's all the ingredients. So let's finish the prep and get on with this soup, which is amazingly quick to make. So I'm going to use my handy chopping gadget to roughly chop the onions. You need a little bit of strength to press down. But even with my hands, I can do this quite easily. And then you end up with some beautifully chopped onions without a great deal of effort. And that's it on the food prep for this pantry recipe. So let's just get on and get the soup into the Instant Pot. So we start by putting the Instant Pot on saute high, and we'll just add some oil to the bottom. So like so many dishes, it really is worth doing a little bit of a saute of the onions and spices before we get that lid on for pressure cooking. So I'm going to start by adding in the seeds. So there goes the mustard seeds, and there goes the fennel seeds. And we're just going to let those sit in the oil for a minute until they start sizzling and popping. So in with the onions. Oh, I can really smell those fennel seeds. Smell amazing. And those are looking good. So just before we put all of the rest of the ingredients in, I'm going to add the garlic and add in the curry powder. Just give that a quick stir into the onions. If you haven't got any fresh garlic, you could use garlic powder for this, so about a teaspoon or to your taste. That is ready for the rest of the ingredients now. So we'll add tomatoes. Oh, I think I might be steaming up. And these are whole tomatoes, so I'm just breaking them up with the spatula. And as I've added the tomatoes and given them a stir, they've really cleared any of the sticking of the onions on the bottom. That's very important to do that before you put on the pressure cooker lid. And then we'll put in the lentils, stir those in, pour in the stock. Now we can just turn off the saute, put on the pressure cooker lid. And then set your Instant Pot to pressure cooker high for 6 minutes. Remember to click start. And that's it. And now we'll just leave that to come to pressure, then it will do its pressure cooking on manual high, and I'm going to leave it then to do what's called a natural pressure release for 15 minutes. So that's where we don't release the pressure straight away, we just leave it sitting in the Instant Pot, and then we'll open it and release any steam that's left over after that 15 minutes point. And there we go. So before we add our final seasoning, let's just give it a blend. And I'm going to use the Bamix stick blender here, which is super powerful, but any old stick blender will do. This is very easy to blend now. So So let's now put a bit of lemon juice in there and give it some seasoning. And that is now looking absolutely perfect. So let's serve some up. So that's our super simple lentil soup with some beautiful fennel and mustard seed flavourings. And if you want to add a green to this, some shredded spinach or kale goes beautifully. I only had a few leaves of spinach left, so I've shredded those on top with a few pumpkin leaves. And that's my super simple lentil soup recipe, all cooked and ready to eat. And if you'd like to see some more soup recipes, take a look at this video. I think you might like it.